and welcome. So today's practice is, I call it Lazy Sunday. It might not be Sunday, but you may feel like it's going to be a nice lazy Sunday day. We're going to be working in a yin practice, so we'll be laying down an awful lot. There'll be no standing postures whatsoever. We're going to be working with the hips and the lower back, and we're going to really try and bring some mindfulness into our practice. Our first posture is laying down on our back. How nice is that? And we're going to open up the IT band and the intercostal muscles. The posture will be held for 2 to 3 minutes. So first of all, find yourself settled on your mat. You're going to bring your body down. And then just bring the knees into the chest, have a little wake up to the spine, let it know it's going to be doing some work today. And then stretch the legs nice and long on the mat. So draw the navel softly towards the spine. Just check out your breathing for the moment. You'll notice I've got lots of cushions around me. These are to support you later on, and you may even want them to support you in this posture. So I'm going to take the arms up over the shoulders, and they can stay like this, or to make it a little bit more intense, you can grab hold of each elbow. And you're already now feeling an opening in the abdomen and the belly area. We're moving into the shoulders, the IT band and the intercostals. So we're going to take a nice little walk all the way to the right with the shoulders. Just keep walking, lifting, walking, until you find that edge you have on the left side of the body. And I want you to draw your left buttock down to the earth, just so that you can get the maximum of this posture. Now we're going to move the legs. So the legs are going to walk the same direction to the right until they meet each other again. And now you know what we're talking about, because now you're in your first edge. The timer is on, and we settle down into this posture. Now if your shoulders are lifting off the mat, maybe grab some of those cushions and just pop them underneath the shoulders. And if it's too intense with your hands on your elbows, then just take the arms long. There is another option as well. You can have one arm long and one arm down by the side of the body. So lots of different options for lots of different bodies and for lots of different sensations. And we settle here, and we think about that left buttock drawing to the earth a little bit. And there will be lots of silent moments in this practice, because I'd like it to be a meditative practice. So just nice, easy breathing. And check out what's happening in the body. There should be no pain. It should just be a nice, deep sensation. Now you've been in this posture for a minute. If you want to make it a little bit deeper, maybe take another little walk, see if the body allows you to. Perhaps cross one ankle over the other, see if that increases that opening. And then we settle back down into that stillness again. I will let you know when we're ready to come out of the postures. Take a couple more breaths. And if you have your ankles crossed when moving out of the posture, uncross the ankles. We start to walk the elbows back first to the centre line. And then we walk the legs back to the centre line. Bring the hands down by the side of the body. Take your feet flat onto the mat. Lift up the hips a tiny bit just to let the back settle back down onto the mat. And then draw both knees into the chest and have a little roll around on that spine again. And then we're going to just do exactly the same with the opposite side. So remember, cushions available if you need them. arms up and over, and they can stay here or grab hold of the elbows. And then we walk to the left, all the way to the left. The shoulders, we're walking to the left. And then we walk the legs to the left until we find that really deep edge we're looking for, the edge where we have no pain, but we have a deep sense of opening, deep sense of sensation. And we draw the right buttock down and we soften into the posture, we just yield to that posture. And then we move back into stillness, into silence, into awareness. If the body invites you to go a little bit deeper, take another little walk, perhaps cross one ankle over the other, doesn't matter which one, and find your deepest yin edge. Be aware of yielding to this posture, a sense of letting go. The muscles are all relaxed. There's no tensing of the muscles at all. Just a couple more breaths and then we'll leave this posture nice and slowly. So cross your legs if they're crossed. We walk the shoulders back first, nice and slowly to the center line. We walk the legs back to the center line. And then we bring the hands down by the side of the body. And then feet flat onto the mat. Lift up the hips a tiny bit, settle the spine back down again. And draw the knees into the chest and have that rock and roll. So in these yin postures, all of your muscles are relaxed. We're not engaging the muscles at all. We're targeting our joints and our connective tissue and the deeper tissues of the body. Your next posture. Take your right leg up to the ceiling and then cross the ankle over the left knee. And then just flex the foot so that the knee is nice and safe. Now feel free to stay here. It's a 2-minute hold. We're moving into the hips, somewhat into the hamstrings. So feel free to stay here, or you've created a triangle. Pop your right hand through it, lift up the left leg, and then join the hands behind the left knee. And now I'm guessing you're going to be feeling that. We stay here and enjoying this. You can have a cushion underneath your head if it feels that you want some support underneath the head. And just let the back spread now. Let the ligaments of the back just spread across the mat or your carpet if you're on a carpet. Bring the awareness to where you're feeling this sensation. And if you want to go a little bit deeper, maybe pop your hands in front of the knee, below the kneecap, and here we are in a deeper posture. You might get some pinching in that right hip, so come back to the original one, or even go back to foot on the mat. All different options for different bodies. And you have that awareness, that stillness. We're just here, working and opening with our own bodies. And then slowly we'll release Feet flat onto the mat, and the other side has been looking on in amazement and wants to do it too. So we're going to take the left leg up to the ceiling, ankle across the right knee, and we stay here. Remember, both hips are never the same. We're not symmetrical. So you may want to stay here. Or perhaps through the triangle with the left hand, round the back of the thigh with the right. Cushion underneath the head if it's needed, and we draw in. And with that awareness, we have an opportunity now to see which side is tighter, which side came into this posture a lot easier. Just awareness. And if we want to go deeper, remember we can always pop the hands in front of the knee, just below the kneecap, so we're not putting pressure on the kneecap, and we draw in a little bit deeper. Again, you check out that this is appropriate for you. You're pinching in that left hip, ease off, cup behind the thigh, or even place the right foot down on the mat. Let your body make the decisions for you. We're not forcing ourselves into these postures, we're just yielding into them. Just a couple more breaths in this posture. Bring the feet flat onto the earth. Draw the knees into the chest and have another roll around on those sacroiliac joints. So we're simply going to roll over to one side to enable us to come up to a seated position. So take your time, everything's slow in yin, so just rolling over and coming up into a seated position. So your next posture is one of my favorites. We call butterfly posture. I'm going to bring the feet together. And if you have back issues, I suggest that you keep your spine nice and long. And if you have no back issues, we can roll forward into forward flexion, just rolling forward. Cushions available, or bolsters if you have them. We can just drape ourselves over. And we're really working into the spine, into the hips. It's a 3-minute hold. And in this 3 minutes, perhaps bring some mindfulness into your practice. Just bow to the posture. Bowing your head if your neck allows you to do this. You can always support your head by bringing your hands underneath your chins if your neck feels a little bit compromised. And then be aware of your breath, your inhales and your exhales. As we ease into this posture, and the wonderful thing about yin is that you will effortlessly create a meditative state, and then you'll learn naturally how to meditate. Lots of people ask me, teach me to meditate, and it's almost like asking, teach me to breathe. You just do. And with your meditation, yin is very helpful because we put the body in a position of complete stillness, and by holding the postures We're just simply being, we're just in the moment right now, being aware of the sensations. We're not forced to think about anything or to do anything, and we take advantage of that. And we bring ourselves into this meditative state of just either focusing on the breath, the inhales, and the exhales, or focusing on the sensations. So just a couple more breaths and we'll have finished our 3-minute hold. And then very slowly we ease ourselves out of this posture. Bring the hands onto the earth. We move slowly. Feels nice to move slowly. Pick up the back of the knees. Draw them together and stretch your legs long. Remove any props that you may have. Maybe seated on props. We're going to bring the fingertips pointing to the buttocks. Lean back and then take one foot wide and the other foot wide. And we're just going to do internal and external in hip rotation. Internal and external hip rotation. Just take it as gently or as deeply as you want. If your knees are not coming to the earth, don't judge, don't criticize yourself. Perhaps take the feet a little bit wider and that may make it more accessible. Everybody's hips are different. And then we're going to come back into long legs. And keeping the hands behind you, just going to lift up the heart for a little gentle back bend. Just a little bit of a counter posture for those forward bends. We're going to return to another forward bend. So again, cushions at the ready, either to sit on, to tilt the pelvis a little bit further forward, so it allows you to come a little bit further forward. Hamstrings, they could be quite an issue in this one. So cushions can go underneath the knees, which will allow your hamstrings to open more passively. We don't want to push anything. Also, cushions can come in front. And then we have a 3-minute hold. Remember, spine issues, just stay tall. Just stay nice and tall and open up the hips and the hamstrings in this manner. No spine issues, no sciatica. We're rolling forward. And we use the cushions to begin with and settle. You may be really high, doesn't matter. We're still working what we need to work. If you can feel it, it's working. So that's the beauty of Yin. If you can feel it, it's working. So just settle into the posture and then just watch the body decide whether it wants to open. There is one area you need to be cautious of in this posture, and that will be the inner knees, the meniscus. We are stressing the knee joint somewhat. So if it feels painful in the inner knee, simple solution, just draw the legs a bit closer together. And then we return to that mindfulness, that mini meditation. Now we have been working with hip opening. So you may want to meditate on your emotions. What's happening right now, emotionally? That's another good thing to meditate on. So breath, sensations, or emotions. your focus. If you're drifting away from the meditative practice, bring yourself back. Feel free to ease out of the posture if you wish to a little bit, or to go a little bit deeper for your final couple of breaths. Turn to that stillness. We move slowly now, bringing your hands to the earth. Nice and slowly. Ooh, I can feel that. And then we're going to pick up the knees and bring the legs together long again. We're going to take that light back bend. So bring your fingertips behind you and just lift up the heart, find that light back bend. Remember, it's lazy Sunday or lazy any day, just really working on opening the body in a nice passive manner. We are going to take a twist. Now, for those who have got sciatica or any serious back issues, again, twists are not really your friends. So you may just want to stay in this nice Dandasana posture and work your spine by lengthening up and drawing the hamstrings down to the earth, and just have your hands by the side of your hips or behind you to keep that spine long. For the rest of us, no spine issues, we're taking a 1 minute twist. We're going to take the right foot across the left, and with our hands we'll draw on that knee to lengthen. So we want the spine to be really long and straight before we twist. You can take it deep with the elbow, or you can take it just with the hand. The right hand comes behind the buttock, about 10 inches behind it. Take an inhale, lengthen up. And on the exhale, we start that rotation now. So lower back, upper back, shoulders, if you're there already, it's too quick, neck, and the head. And then we inhale here, and exhale, twist a little bit deeper. So you're getting some compression in that belly. You can always take the elbow around to make it a little bit deeper, draw the knee in a little bit more. Lots of choices. Keep the spine long. Nice easy breathing. And we've completed our 1 minute, so we're just going to bring the legs nice and long again. Those who are not twisting, maybe just want to have a little round at the back by drawing the knees in, and then return to that straight back again. So the opposite foot comes across, and we draw on the knee, we lengthen through the spine, and then we take the left hand behind the left buttock, take an inhale, lengthen up, and on the exhale we start that rotation from the lower back to the upper back, to the shoulders, and finally to the neck. And again, hand on knee is appropriate, or wrap the elbow around is appropriate, whatever feels good for you. But we want to have the spine long before we twist. So just a couple more breaths. And then slowly all the way back to our Dandasana. So we're going to take a nice laying down position. We're moving into the hips again. So I've got a couple more postures here. We're going to lay down. And I'm going to take you into a 1 minute hold here. So draw the feet flat to the mat. Take your right leg up to the ceiling. Wrap your hands round the back of the right knee and draw the right knee towards your right armpit. Now some of you will stay here Maybe wrap your elbows around and draw the knee to the right armpit. Some of you may be close enough with the hands to come to the ankle and draw the knee to the armpit a little bit more. And some of you may even reach the foot and draw down a little bit more. Now, if you want to make it even deeper, the foot that's flat onto the mat can go long. And we're right into the big psoas muscle area in the hip. 20 muscle groups past your hip. And we're right into that area now. If it's too intense, bring the foot back flat onto the mat. Your practice, your yoga, your body. Ease off if you wish. But the timer is on. It's a 1 minute hold. Just settle into the posture. The right knee is approaching to the right armpit. And one day, maybe in 30 years' time, the right knee will arrive at the floor. Please never force anything. We just want to be aware of the sensations. We're into the hip and the hamstrings. So where are you feeling it? If your leg is long, are you feeling it the front of the left hip as well? And bring that mindfulness, that awareness, that meditation back to the practice. And we're going to slowly release. Bring the left knee in, and we have a roll around, and we change sides. So the right foot is flat. We take the left leg to the ceiling. We wrap our arms or hands around the left knee at the back, and we draw the left knee to the left armpit. We settle into the position that we want. We can even bring the elbows into bear as well. And if you're close enough, take your hand to the ankle. Remember, no judgment. And if you're close to your foot, to the foot, and we draw the left knee towards the left armpit, maybe passing it, who knows? Who knows what's happening with the body today? And then if you want to take it deeper, the right leg goes long. And oh, we feel that now right at the top of the front right thigh, where pelvis meets thigh, where the big, huge psoas muscle is, the big hip flexor. And remember, each side is different, so you can ease off if you need to by bringing the foot flat to the mat. You can lengthen that right leg, lots of choices. And we've completed our minute. Whew, thank goodness for that. Bring both knees into the chest, rock and roll. And then we're going to take one knee to one armpit, the other knee to the other armpit. And if you want to, ankles. I'm going to try and bring the feet facing to the ceiling. Think about babies in their cots, because this is called happy baby. And then maybe grab hold of the feet or the ankles or the back of the knees and have a little roll around again on the spine. So happy baby. We're coming into our final posture, and it will be a very light back bend. We've had a lot of forward bends, we've had side stretches and twists and rotations. We're going to finish with a nice light back bend. Bring the knees together, feet flat onto the mat. We're going to roll over onto our tummies. So rolling all the way over onto your tummies, bringing as many cushions as you need. And we're just going to take our arms over the cushions and find ourselves in a nice, peaceful position. Now, some of you, your backs may just like to be in this position, and that's great. It's a gentle back bend. We used to do these sort of postures when we were children, and we had very healthy spines, and then we found those ugly chairs and sat in them. So the floor is always your friend, so please try and do these gentle back bends as much as you can. You can read your paper here, you can read a book, you can even watch TV here if you've got your TV in a good position. So you can have the back bend at any time. You don't have to come to a yin practice to do it. We're always in forward bends. Everything we do is forward bending. We very seldom do back bends, and yet they're so healthy for you, and especially if you've got back issues or sciatica, they're really helpful to you. So we're going to take it to a 3-minute hold, and I know it's lazy Sunday Yin, but if you want to, and only if you want to, you can bring yourself into a sphinx so that you get a little bit of a deeper back bend, or you can bring that cushion back in again, whatever you feel like. And then we're just going to settle into this posture for 3 minutes. Remember, we can always release back down again if needs be. So there are huge benefits in mindfulness. It'll improve your blood pressure and lower your heart rate. It will reduce the fight or flight stress response that we are often having these days. It improves your digestion. And being mindful lessens inflammation. So if you're in pain, you need to be in the moment and being mindful and aware of what's happening. And above all, it improves your immune system. They're all physical benefits, and they're all absolutely wonderful. So bringing yourself back to that meditative state, that mindfulness state of either focusing on the sensations or the breath, or your emotions. You can even watch the mind itself. See what's happening in the mind. We have time to just be. We're going to have a couple more breaths. So we're really compressing these lower backs in a healthy fashion. We're coming out of our posture. We're just going to lay down slowly. Bring the hands underneath the forehead and lay our head onto the hands. This is still a back bend, so if you don't want to do any of the other back bends, this is a back bend. And now we're going to draw one knee up towards the elbow. And then we'll gaze in the direction of that knee that we've drawn up to the elbow. And you'll feel a nice little release here from that back bend. And then slowly we'll draw that knee back. We'll just simply change sides, so we'll draw the opposite knee up towards the opposite elbow, and we'll gaze in the direction of that knee. And then slowly draw that leg back. We're just simply going to roll over onto our backs, just rolling over onto the back. Feet flat onto the mat. And then draw the knees into the chest and have that final movement around that lower back. Little circles to the right, hands on knees, little circles to the left. And then bring the feet flat to the mat. Take the legs nice and long. And the arms open wide. We're not here for long. Now, if you have back issues, this might not be the posture for you, so you can always have your feet flat onto the mat, and that will make a nice release into the spine. You take your choices. So throughout the whole practice, all the muscles have been relaxed. We've been working with the joints, the connective tissue, and the connective tissue and the fascia, which surrounds all your muscles and joints. And it gets very tight from prolonged seated postures when we're working or watching TV. So holding the postures for 3, maybe 5 minutes sometimes will open up this connective tissue, this fascia, and give you more range of movement. The one beauty about Yin practice is you can do it every single day because the muscles are not involved. And every day your body will be different. Every day it will be different. Some days you'll be stiffer than others. And that's just the way we are. So feel free to stay here for as long as you like. Or I'm going to take my leave of you, so bring your feet flat to the mat and roll over to your side. And then we're going to come up into a comfortable seated position. Just to end the practice, we're going to bring ourselves into the Namaste gesture, the hands in prayer posture in front of your hearts. And take a nice little bow with the head, maybe close your eyes. Namaste represents the belief that there is a divine spark within each of us, and that is located in the heart center. The gesture of Namaste is an acknowledgement of the soul in one by the soul in another. And in these pandemic days, it's a really nice gesture. We can't hug each other, we can Namaste. My soul to your soul. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. Please do subscribe, and I'll see you back on the mat shortly. Have a nice lazy day. I'm going to. Bye for now.